Ashley, coming at you live from Boston for a little solo episode. That intro was so different. One, I've never been the one to say welcome before. And two, the flow is just off. So you guys are stuck with just me today. I know, I'm sorry to disappoint, but we are giving our girl Courtney a little bit of a break. She is under the weather, feeling a bit sick, and I was feeling a bit chatty. So with that, I have a little solo episode for you today. We are going to see how this goes. If any of you have been here from the start, you know we've never experimented with some solo episodes. So if you are watching this, you are all up in my business. It is me and you, this camera, this wink, and this is going to be either really great or really odd. Right now I'm sweating. Are you sweating? Because I'm sweating. Let's start off by thanking our partners, Wink. Again, if you are watching today's episode, you will see I am drinking a black cherry fizz seltzer. For those that still don't know by now, Wink is a seltzer with a wink of THC and CBD. They have 3, soon to be 4 flavors. I'm so excited to try the new flavor. They actually just posted yesterday. They're officially in Boston, so you can get them at your local bodegas, liquor stores, restaurants, activity bars like Southie Bowl. You can pretty much get them anywhere throughout the city. You can also order them online. We do have a discount code, YCDB30 for 30% off, but it's me, you, and Wink today. So thanks, Wink. I feel like that wink was kind of good. Okay, so I do have a couple updates for you guys. So if you remember from last week, I postponed my January 1st. My January 1st started this past Monday because I was sick the first week of the new year, and holy moly, not for me. Being sick the first week of the new year, terrible. So I announced my January 1st was starting this past Monday, and it's honestly been life-changing. So if you feel like this 2024 fresh start didn't go how you wanted to, pick another day. Pick a new day. This is your life, and you get to choose. And I chose January 8th to be my January 1. And so far, 2024 has been the best year of my life. Yes, that's an exaggeration, but it's been pretty dang great. Back in the office, I worked out, I went for a couple runs, I've been practicing my New Year's resolutions, my New Year's goals, and some would say I'm blooming. If you know, you know. If you don't know, my word for the year is bloom. So let's see, what else can I share? I also have a Boston rec of the week this week. So I got dinner with one of my friends, and she was like, hey, have you been to this place called Pammy's in Cambridge? And I was like, no, I've never heard of it. Let's go. So we went, and apparently they have a tasting menu. If you make a reservation, you have to do the tasting menu. But more often than not, I also went on a Wednesday, but you can just walk in and sit at the bar. The vibes, the energy, everything about it. I had bolognese, I don't know. It was so good. That was all I got. We didn't do like appetizers or anything, but the ambiance, the vibes, they were there. They were giving what they needed to give. Obviously, it is dry January, hence wink, but I've been feeling ordering mocktails. I think we need to normalize this. One, the total bill of the restaurant is so much cheaper. We are saving so much money. Two, you don't feel like you really need to get multiple. I think there's something about when you order a cocktail, you like start to feel a little bit of a buzz, and the waiter comes around and is like, oh, can I get you a refill? Something about ordering the mocktail, I just didn't feel that pressure to, 1, speed through my drink, and 2, order another one. And mocktails are just as fun and delicious as regular cocktails. There's just no consequences, and they're cheaper. So I think we need to normalize not ordering alcoholic beverages with dinner. You know, if it's a casual Wednesday. Hey, if you're feeling it, I'm not judging. By the way, I'm not judging anyone who's not doing the dry January or anyone who wants to get a drink at dinner. Trust me, I'll be right there with you in February. But just maybe not as much. I've actually really, truly enjoyed this sober, non-alcoholic journey for January. It's also, as I'm recording this, it is January 12th, so we're almost halfway through the month, and I haven't even craved a glass of wine. Huge. So I think that covers what I wanted to catch y'all up on. Shall we get into today's episode topic? I think yes. The importance of trying new things. By things, I mean new activities, new hobbies, basically anything that's outside of your regular routine. Anything that's almost out of your comfort zone. That is what I mean by trying new things. And I think it's so easy to stay in your routine. And I also think this episode is very timely with the new year happening. It feels safe to stick with what you know. But there's something about trying new things and just getting out of your comfort zone that is truly exhilarating. And I wrote down a couple of reasons to encourage you to take a step out of your comfort zone, try something new, and why you should do it. Without further ado, let's just outline some of the reasons. I'm hoping to motivate you, to make you feel a little bit fresh, a little bit motivated, a little pep in your step to try something new. So I'm going to start off by talking about what inspired me to speak about this topic today. And from there, I can use it as an example as we go through the list of why you should try something new. And for me, it has been running. Now, I want to preface this by saying I just started running this week. My very first run was 4 days ago. I take that back. My first run was 3 days ago. But then I did a second run 2 days ago. And I did my third run today. And holy moly, for a number of reasons, I'm feeling amazing. For those that haven't listened to our previous episode where we talked about picking your word for the year and some of our goals for the year, one of my goals was to run a half marathon. And when I first said that, I was like, okay, this probably won't happen. This feels so ambitious for a girl that's never, ever, ever run a road race, ever. So did I think it was going to happen? I don't know, but it felt like a reach. And there was something, I've been listening to so many podcasts recently, and they always talk about how you need to find the sweet spot between your goals. Like, it can't be something that's so easy and you're of course going to accomplish it, but it also can't be so far-fetched, so far out there that it's more of a dream. It needs to be a realistic goal. And I felt like a half marathon was not so out of reach, but it also wasn't something I can totally do tomorrow. So with that being said, I have told people that I want to start running. And because I mentioned it in the podcast about running a half marathon, I had someone reach out to me. And they were like, hey, I just listened to your podcast episode. Do you want to do the Brooklyn half marathon? And I was like, oh my God, not somebody holding me accountable. Oh my God. My jaw kind of dropped. I was like, oh, shocked, shoot, I'm going to have to be held to my word, which is exactly why you should share your goals and tell everybody in your life, because you are more likely to accomplish them. With that being said, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me take a look into it. She was so great. Thank you, Issa. She sent me all of these documents, and basically if I started this week, it would be exactly 16 weeks, which meant I can follow a 16-week half marathon training program. So I told myself, okay, it starts on Tuesday. Let me try to do the first run, because I was so hesitant because it's freezing outside. And I was like, am I really setting myself up for success if I start to run in a Boston winter? Like, is that smart? Probably not. I was more thinking I would train in the summer and then do a marathon maybe in the fall or something. Nope. So I did it. So I was like, you know what? Okay, let me give it a try. Let me give it a fair shot. Why not? Why already say no before I even give it a try? So the first run was 3 miles, and it was on Tuesday. So I bundled up in like 17 layers, and I did my 3 miles, and I didn't stop running, and I did the whole thing. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, holy shit, I feel amazing, accomplished, proud, happy. I don't know if it was those post-run endorphins or what, but I felt amazing. So I was like, okay, Maybe that was just luck. Let me try it again. So then the next day is also on the training program, and it's you run 2 miles. So I was like, okay, let me try it. Loved it again. By the end of the day, I had texted 2 friends that live in Boston, and I was like, guys, you expressed interest in doing a half marathon. There's one in Brooklyn in April. If we start this week, we'll be good to go. They were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And one of them said, okay, should we just send it and like sign up right now? And once again, I was held to my word of actually following through on this goal. So what did we do? We signed up. So I'm officially doing the Brooklyn Half Marathon at the end of April. So I'm committed now. And it's kind of going to be my entire new personality trait. But it really had me thinking because I felt so good all week. And I just think it's a sense of accomplishment. Running for me is the example that I'd like to use in this episode of why you should try something new and why it's important and all of the benefits you will get from doing it. With that being said, I wrote down a couple of things that I've just been feeling this week. First one, staying in the same routine is so blah. And I think we all know this by now, but when you're just doing the same old thing every single day, you're doing the same hobbies, you're doing the same exercises, you're eating the same meals, I think life just goes by quick and not memorable. And that kind of leads me to another point of switching up your routine. It just makes you feel alive. And that sounds so dramatic, but there's something about the human experience and trying something new. Like, we're not put on this earth to do the same thing every day. It's me. Okay. This is so hard not to have Courtney here because she usually keeps me on track. I also didn't really plan out this episode, so maybe that's why my mind is going everywhere. But all to say, that leads me to another point. I don't know who it was, but over the holidays, I was talking to somebody in their late 80s. I don't remember exactly who. Oh my God, it's all coming back to me. It was my grandfather's Christmas party, and I was chatting to one of his friends at the table. We were just talking about life, and she was like, oh yeah, like we must have been talking about knitting. Leave it to me to literally bring knitting up in every freaking conversation, but I digress. We must have been chatting about that because she said, oh my goodness, I used to knit, but then, my hands, I have like arthritis now and it hurts my knuckles and my hands and my joints. And she told me, do everything while you're young because there comes a day where your body just can't do it anymore. And something about that just like spoke to me. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're so right. Why wouldn't I do everything I've ever wanted to do? While you're young, if there's anything you want to do it now. Applying this to running, I'm not going to be able to run a half marathon when I'm in my 80s, when I'm retired. I don't see that in the cards for me. So why not do it now? Why not do everything I've ever wanted to do? Everything that even crosses my mind and I'm like, you know what? That might be cool to try. Can we all just like make an agreement to try it? While we can. Life is not promised and we could die tomorrow. So try new things. Do everything. Next on my list is you learn something new about yourself. And I think this one's interesting because we kind of already think we know ourselves so well because you're going to learn, oh, I really like this. Oh, I hate this and I never want to do it again. So regardless, you're going to end up finding something new and learning about yourself. And I think that's beautiful. I mean, I didn't know I could run 3 miles on a whim like that. That's pretty awesome. And I think that brings me to my next point. Would you want to have a conversation with somebody who has tried all of these new experiences? Or would you want somebody that only sticks to their routine and does the same thing every day? I would say 9 times out of 10, the person who has all of these new experiences, your conversation is going to be a lot more rich, a lot more interesting. I think we should all strive to be that person in the conversation. You're also going to have an answer to, oh, what's new? What's new with you? The dreaded question. Court and I think, mentioned in another episode. Now, when we go to these social situations, you kind of have to think, okay, what's been new in my life? What have I been up to? What have I been doing? So that you have an answer to when someone says, oh, like, so what's been new with you? All right, go ahead, ask me. What's been new with me? I am actually training for a half marathon. Guys, ask me about my running journey. Okay, it's all I want to talk about. It's all I want to talk about. And who knows? Maybe the person's like, oh my God, no way, I've actually trained. Here are some tips. Or, oh, that's so cool. I've always wanted to do that. Tell me more. Oh, how is that going for you? Could never be me, but like, awesome for you. Tell me about it. What made you want to do that? You become so much more interesting when you're trying something new. And then there's just the simple fact of it makes life more fun. I think even if you try something new and you hate it, it's either going to be a really good story to tell or you're going to end up loving it and wanting to do it again. And I think that is also the human experience. This is so running niche, but guys, I watched the sunrise when I ran the other day. My first run, I was out there for 3 miles and I ran through the Commons and down Commonwealth and the sun was rising and I was like, I don't know the last time I felt this alive and happy and like life is worth living and this life is so beautiful and so fun. And yes, that is really dramatic, but it's how I feel. Quick break to talk to you guys a bit about Wink. Wink is a seltzer with a wink of CBD and THC. They come in 3, soon to be 4 flavors. I'm currently drinking the Black Cherry Fizz. They are all so good. They're so light. And because I have the nutrition facts right here, I can tell you there are no calories, no fat, no sodium, no carbs, nothing. Nothing but seltzer and a little bit of THC and CBD. I highly recommend these. It is dry January. Even if you're not doing dry January, maybe you're doing a damp January. All I can say is, along with this episode, if you haven't tried these yet, this is your sign to try something new. Last night, I went to dinner with the girls, and I was like, okay, a glass of wine would probably be nice at dinner. I didn't know if they were doing dry January or not, but I was like, let me pregame with a little wink while I do my hair and makeup and get ready. By the time I got ready and I was out the door, I had the perfect little social buzz going, and it honestly felt like I had a cocktail in me. The best part is, no alcohol was involved, no calories, no carbs, no nothing. And then I didn't wake up with any sort of hangover. Wink is onto something. This is definitely the easiest dry January I've ever done. And I would say it's all thanks to these babies. Maybe I'll do dry February. Who knows? But as of right now, it is January 12th, so I'm almost halfway through the month. And I'm reporting live that Winks are the move. You can use code YCDB30 for 30% off your online order. Thanks, Wink. Okay, another one is a sense of accomplishment. It's that feeling of when you check something off a bucket list or just a list in general. It satisfies some part of your brain and it feels good. So even if it says something as completing a puzzle, it feels good. When was the last time you did a puzzle? I would say 80% of the people out there probably haven't done a puzzle in a minute, but I just finished a puzzle and then I did my puzzle pull. And the good, happy brain chemicals that were released in my brain when I did that puzzle pull and when we put that last piece in are unmatched. And I didn't even think I was a puzzler. But hey, that's always a good feeling. I think sometimes there's weeks or months where I go by where I haven't had a moment of, wow, Ash, really good job. I'm so proud of you for putting yourself out there, for getting out of your comfort zone. I think it's just growth, and acknowledging your growth is easier to do when you are experiencing something new. That rhymed. Bada bing, bada boom. One of my last ones is you could find a new passion. I am secretly hoping that running becomes a personality trait that sticks with me. If you've been here for a minute, you know that I've just always wanted to be a runner. And I've always admired runners and I respect the shit out of them. And I'm a wannabe runner. And with that being said, I'm hoping this sticks. But even if it doesn't, it'll do all of the things that I just listed on this list. But trying something new could open up a new passion that you had no idea was even for you. And you won't know unless you try it. So that's a win in itself. Lord knows I have not found all my passions, and we're not going to find them by doing the same thing every single day. All right, and then the last thing I have for why you should try something new is by putting yourself in new situations, you are allowing the world to give you new opportunities. Okay, so stick with me here. This is going to sound a little woo-woo, but again, if you're doing the same thing every day and you're not trying something new, it's really hard for the universe to, answer your manifestations and return the good luck to you and your lucky girl syndrome. I think putting yourself out of your comfort zone, trying something new, having new conversations, going to new events, picking up new hobbies, it allows you to meet new people, have new conversations, and can eventually open up doors for you. And it can also allow the universe to bless you with some luck and bless you with a new opportunity that you wouldn't have had if you stuck to your same old, same old. And I think that alone should be motivation enough to put yourself out there. You never know. You never know what conversation you're going to have or who you're going to meet tomorrow and what opportunity is waiting for you. But I think we need to just start saying yes, trying new things. It's okay to be bad at your hobbies. It's okay to hate the new things that you try. But I think it makes life worth living. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is this is also your sign to socialize your goals and tell everybody in your life about what you're trying to achieve. I think running, for my example, I wouldn't be running the half marathon if I didn't tell the podcast and if I didn't tell people at work. I wouldn't be going on the runs. I wouldn't have downloaded the Strava app. And guys, if you're a runner and you don't have the Strava app, go. We can follow each other. I'm obsessed. But anyways, all to say, tell the people the things you want to accomplish. And I think you are 80% more likely to accomplish them. They will hold you accountable. They will look for opportunities for you. And they'll cheer you on. What more could you ask for? If you enjoyed today's solo episode, feel free to rate us 5 stars. If you did not enjoy today's solo episode, you can kindly DM us on Instagram and we won't do it again. But who knows? Maybe we'll mix in a little solo here and there. We'll hear a little bit from Ash. We'll hear a little bit from Court. It could be fun. Could be a mix-up. Or maybe it sucks. Who knows? But here we are and we're trying something new. And for that, it's going to be a win for me. Thank you for listening and we will talk to you next week. Love you.